It was a story of God versus God at the Smite Pro League Phase 1 playoffs last week, as Radiance and Ghost Gaming locked swords, destroyed towers, and took aim at each other's titans. A god that turns confrontation into power, Hercules saw a great deal of play in the grand finals due to his frequent crowd control effects, hard-hitting combos, and survivability. Hercules' passive Strength of Pain turns damage taken into physical power, meaning the longer he remains in the fight on the front lines, the more damage he can output. Players are using Hercules to chase down their enemies with Driving Strike, charging in and delivering a stun to a helpless victim. When followed up with Earthbreaker, opposing gods are knocked up and pulled towards Hercules so that his teammates can move quickly and focus down enemies caught out of position. When fighting in smaller corridors, Hercules' ultimate, Excavate, forces players to split up or be hit by a gigantic rolling boulder. Those slammed by the ball of rock will suffer immense damage on impact. With spear in hand, the Greek goddess of victory, Nike, is an absolute juggernaut on the battlefield, crippling her enemies while protecting her team. Her passive, To Victory, will grant her team additional buffs in the form of laurels after they complete particular objectives. So long as these goals are achieved, her entire team will be granted additional movement speed and power percentage bonuses, vital for late game. Flying through the air with her valiant leap helps close the gap between the Nike player and the target, crashing down on a location to deal damage and knock up foes. Following up with a few strikes of Rend will see enemy players lose their protections or even be disarmed. The perfect form of crowd control when in the heat of battle. What sends the enemy team running is Nike's ultimate, Sentinel of Zeus. By transforming into an armored sentinel, Nike players gain an additional shield, slowing nearby enemies' movement speed as she slices and dices her opposition. Praised for his single target damage, Heimdallr the Vigilant from the Norse pantheon became a frequent pick in the online competition for his ability to locate enemy gods. Heimdallr players are not only providing massive damage for their team, they are also a valuable source of intel, using his passive, the Vigilant and Piercing Sight, to watch enemy players through walls and map terrain, granting Heimdallr a physical power buff per player he locates. During an intense team fight, Heimdallr players whip out his Gjallarhorn, slowing the movement and attack speed of players caught in front of its blast. 2 seconds later, a second blow of the horn can be heard, with its sound waves damaging and knocking back hostiles away from the player, great for wave clearing. Heimdallr's ultimate, Through the Realms, completely removes an enemy player from the fight, thumping them through a portal where they will feel the environmental effects in the realms of Muspelheim and Niflheim before returning to the battlefield critically damaged. These three powerful gods are sure to turn up the heat in your next match of Smite. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with the amazing esport content from around the gaming globe. Only on Unbeaten Esports.